Friends, today is Tuesday, the 10th of November, and it's the feast of St. Leo the great pope from the 5th century, which was a very, very troubled time with heresies galore and the Vandals and the Huns at the door of Rome. And we think things are challenging and difficult today in the church. Well, the 5th century, there's nothing quite like it. We are fortunate today to have the peace that we do, even if there are a bit of turmoil. But Leo is a great example to us of a pope who remained steadfast and strong and faithful through the most difficult times. And today we have a kind of tricky gospel, a little short gospel. It's a parable. It says, Jesus said to the apostles, so this is addressed to the 12, who among you, of course he's addressing the apostles, who among you would say to your servant who has just come in from plowing or tending sheep, come here immediately and take your place at table? Now to us, of course, it seems like we would treat people well, and somebody comes in and you say, yeah, have a seat, sit down. But that's not the point of this parable. And we presume at the beginning that we are the master, as the apostles might do, since it was addressed to them. But at the end of the gospel, all of a sudden there's a shift, and no, we're not the master. We're not the one giving commands. We are the servants who are simply doing what we have been commanded to do. It says, we have done what we were obliged to do. And we, you and I, are those servants. So it's not about you and me. It's about the King, who is Christ, and what our place should be in relationship to him. We're not the ones giving the orders. In other words, the world doesn't revolve around us. We're there to listen and to obey, to be obedient. And it's humble service, table service. The master comes in, we go to the kitchen, prepare the food, bring it out, give it to him, and at the end we say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done what we were obliged to do. We were unprofitable and have done what we are obliged to do. And the question is, do they need to be thanked, or, hey, what about me? No. What is really important for the servant is to simply do the will of the master. And that's what we are called to do. We are the ones who respond to the commands. And we may not understand the rationale of whatever the master commands, but we do it anyway, because we recognize that his wisdom and prudence and bigger view, is more important than whatever small little view I might have. It's hard for us to accept something like that, because our ego is such that it's me, I know better, I'm not going to listen, I'm not going to be obedient. The very word obedient kind of drives us crazy. But we have to remember what that word means, obey. It comes from the Latin obedire, which means to listen, to hear, to listen attentively, so that, to the point that our mind and heart is the same as the Lord's. To listen so carefully. The word, when we say, I hear you, it means that our mind and heart is the same. Not resisting, not opposites to each other. The mind of the master is our mind. And when we hear, what is it? When our mind and heart are one with the master, what do we hear? What are we commanded to do as disciples. Well, the gospel today kind of gives us a clue to what that is. It says at the beginning of the gospel, "Who among you would say to your servant who has just come in from plowing or tending sheep in the field?" Okay, we are those servants out plowing. A kind of reference to the good soil in the gospel, plowing the field so that the word may sink in, the word of the kingdom may sink in, plowing the field, preparing the fields for the word. That's what we do as servants. And tending sheep, okay, that's a good pastoral service we do, taking care of the sheep, tending the sheep, taking care of our brothers and sisters. And the servant in the gospel who comes in to prepare a meal, ready to wait on the master and others. We prepare food for others, the food of the gospel. And most importantly, of course, is the food of the Eucharist itself. We are servants who prepare and receive. Prepare and receive. So plowing, tending, ready to wait on others. That's the servant. That's what we are obliged to do. And we don't wait for someone to say thank you. We just listen to the master and do as he commands. And this is the stewardship entrusted to us. Let's be good stewards and good servants. Hold that thought, and we'll see you tomorrow.